Namaste, Namaskar, hello everybody. Well, this video is about a very special event in my life, a divine event. Yes, I would like to stress on that word divine, a divine meeting with Dalai Lama, the 14th Dalai Lama. Now, I'm sure all of us, millions of us, we have heard him in his videos, through social networking sites, through several other programs, and somehow all our thought process and our lives have been shaped beautifully in a positive way through his sermons, through his teachings, through his philosophies, through his beliefs. Similarly, even me, you can say, I am a follower, I am a sort of a disciple, I am a sort of a fanboy, you may say. So when this chance came upon, I wouldn't let it go. So we were all there, gathered, and we wanted to hear His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, live. He was there to speak on a very pertinent topic, the use and the utility of proper education among the youth for a nation to succeed. Well, this particular topic is something that is so near to my heart and something that I believe is so important, because the work that I'm doing at this moment, as whoever, if you're aware of the work that I'm doing for the youth, for the children, for years now, I have dedicated my life, apart from being an actor, I have dedicated my life to somehow shape the thoughts and somehow shape the life of the children, the youth, in a positive way, in positive light. Because I feel the youth, the children, they are the very, very, very important members of the society. And it is them who are going to shape a nation. It is them who are going to shape the society. If we push them into darkness, the nation and the society goes into darkness. If we push them towards light, they will reflect the light upon us, vis-a-vis the society, vis-a-vis the nation. That is my belief. And somehow in many, speeches and delegations of Dalai Lama, His Holiness Dalai Lama, I've heard the same thing. Somehow his beliefs have always echoed my thought process, and somehow it has shaped my thought process also. So he was there to speak on something that is very near to my heart, that is an issue that I'm fighting, giving proper education. And education doesn't mean only education through books. He came in, we all stood up, very humble person, very down to earth. He asked us, all of us, to sit down. So we sat. He started to speak. And amazing. The things that he said, very, very simply, yet very deep, very profound, very powerful, and with amazing sense of humor, wit. So what was happening inside me, I don't know what. I've always believed miracles happen in our daily lives, which we don't realize, which we don't pay any attention to. I thought that this was a miraculous day for me, and that's why I label it as divine. I don't know why I did what I did that day. I don't know why things were happening in the way they were happening that day. I don't remember when I used to sketch once upon a time, a lot. But lately, I didn't. I don't remember when I sketched for the last time. But at that moment, while I was sitting there, we were given pads and pen to probably note down if we have something in our minds that were being said by His Holiness. So instead of, I was noting it down in my mind, definitely, I was jotting it down in my mind, definitely, whatever he was saying. And in the meantime, I don't know why I picked up the pen, and in that pad, that A4 size pad, I started sketching him, his portrait. And after I finished it, I wrote a poem of 8 lines. The name of that poem was Echo. Quite obvious why it was Echo, because whatever he was saying, they were echoing my thoughts, but they were echoing my beliefs, they were echoing my heart, my mind, everything. So I was doing that while he was speaking. After his speech was over, there was this question-answer session. Many hands went up, and people are eager. Even if they don't have a proper question to ask, they were eager to speak to him. As we all know, even the biggest of the biggest names of the whole world, they actually wait for days and months to get an appointment to meet him face to face, one-on-one. It was quite unlikely. I thought the amount of hands all around. I mean, I'm not that kind of a pushy person. Just because I idolize somebody, just because I really respect someone and I like someone, I have to jump on him or her or breathe on his or her shoulders. I'm not that kind of a person. I had some things that I wanted to ask him for many years. But then I thought, if I get a chance, okay. If I don't get a chance, fine. So I had my hands up and I was seeing several others. Luckily, again, miraculously, what happened was the host was there. He spotted me and he knew about me. He knew the work that I do, the social work that I do, the social awareness programs that I do for the children and the youth all around the world. He knows about that. So he spotted me and he said, he asked the person who was carrying the microphone, he asked that person to give the microphone, please give it to Mr. Bobby Chakraborty. And then he gave a short introduction to His Holiness, Dalai Lama, about me and about the work that I do, the social work that I do, the social awareness program that I do against addiction and against every harmful popular trends among the children, among the youth. On hearing that was a very, very, I was really humbled. That was a very nice introduction. And Dalai Lama, His Holiness, heard about everything that the host had to say. And I could make out that he was very impressed, and he said that you are doing something which a true leader does. A true leader actually doesn't only defend his team or his race or his country. He actually builds the pillars to make his country or nation or the society strong. And who are the pillars? The young boys and girls, the youth. And you are actually doing that. I'm very happy. I'm really happy. So I was feeling, the sense was not only about a pride or a happiness or satisfaction. It was a something, a hallucination. That is the term that I can tell you. It was, things were happening. I couldn't understand if they were happening for real. And these words, those were coming to me. They were echoes, and there was a lot of reverb in everything that I was hearing. So then His Holiness said that, okay, Bobby, what did you have to say? You want to ask me something? So I said that, Your Holiness, I have 2 things to tell you. First is that, I don't know why, but I sat here and I sketched your portrait on this paper. And I've written a small poem in the same page, which I want to give it to you. In my mind, I was thinking I'll never get the chance, keeping into consideration the amount of security, etc. And I thought that I wouldn't get a chance because there were hundreds of others who would want to get that chance. So, but I said that I want to give it to you. I thought somebody will carry the paper from me to him. I want to give it to you. This is a small gift from my part, on my behalf to you. And the second thing that I want to tell you is actually a question. It's a question that I always wanted to ask you, and I kept on asking myself, because right from my childhood, I always believed and I always thought that if I was not a marine engineer, if I was not an actor after being a marine engineer, I've said that in numerous interviews of mine, I would definitely be a teacher. And now that I am a teacher, I train actors. But the thirst to be a teacher has always been there right from my childhood. So this pertinent question, this question has always been there in my mind, that who is an ideal teacher? Who do you call an ideal teacher? Is it that person who has read a lot of books? Is it that person who has passed a lot of examinations and achieved and attained a lot of degrees? Who is an ideal teacher? So this is my question to you, Your Holiness. That's what I say. This is my second thing that I wanted to tell you. And I was waiting for somebody to carry the paper from my hand to His Holiness. So he said that, okay, Bobby, please come up. I want to see actually what you have drawn and what you have written. Please come. Now, I want to describe from this part on the whole word divine, which I stated in my, the start of the video. I don't remember getting out of my seat and walking to him. I don't remember that part. How I stood up and how I came out of that place and I stood in front of him. All that I remember, it's a blur. Sort of, I glided towards him. And I reached him somehow. Because everything was happening, it was surreal. I'm telling you, it was surreal for me. And I was there in front of him with the paper, with my drawing, with my poem. And I gave it to him. So without looking at the paper, without looking at the drawing and the poem, what happened was he placed his right hand on my left cheek, very gently. And it was warm. It was a soft hand on my cheek. And he said that, Bobby, you're a pure soul. That's what he said, quote unquote. And your parents are very proud of you. I get a lot of positive feeling from you. Then he took away his hand. And then he read the poem and he saw the drawing. He said that I quite appreciate your feelings. I like the drawing, what you've done, and I like your poem. Then he said, can you tell me your second question once more? Second thing that you wanted to tell me once more. Something was happening inside me. I can't explain actually, but I'm trying to explain. Something was happening inside me. I couldn't feel the weight of my legs. That's exactly that was happening inside me. I was sort of floating. That is exactly that I was feeling. And he asked me, what you have to say, tell me. The second thing that you wanted to tell me, can you just repeat it once more? So I said, Your Holiness, I wanted to ask, who can be an ideal teacher? Who is an ideal teacher? So he said that an ideal teacher is that person who actually acknowledges his or her faults in life. An ideal teacher is that person who actually learns from his own mistakes. An ideal teacher is that person who actually wants to overcome those mistakes and make those mistakes as lessons in life. Who would not want to commit those mistakes, either in his or her life, and wouldn't want those mistakes to be repeated in any other human being's life. Because you are the only person who knows your flaws better than anybody else. You are the only person, Bobby, who knows your mistakes better and more than anybody else. So it is only up to you how you deal with those flaws, how you deal with those mistakes, how you make those mistakes, those flaws as learning lessons for yourself and for the others. If you can spread that lesson, spread that knowledge properly, for me, I think you are the ideal teacher. And then he called me again. I went near him. This was the second time that he placed his right hand. This time it was on my left earlobe, very softly. And he just caught the earlobe like this. And believe you me, there was a shockwave all throughout my body. All throughout my body. There was no words were being exchanged during that point of time, during those 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. There was pin drop silence all around. He just caught hold of my left earlobe very softly for 5, 6 seconds. And he left it. And I don't know what happened. But there was actually a shockwave all throughout my body. He smiled at me. I cannot forget that smile. And he said, "Did you get your answer?" I said, "Yes. Yes, Your Holiness, I got the answer." And then, I don't remember how, but all I remember was I was there on a different seat this time when I returned, or when I stepped down from the podium. Again, I want to repeat, I don't remember the time that I walked from my previous seat to the podium and whatever happened on the podium. And I returned back. The interim period, the traveling to the podium and traveling back, I don't have any memories of that whatsoever. I found as if this whole incident in between me reaching the podium and me getting down from the podium, this was the only thing that he wanted me to remember. That's my way of seeing it. I've tried hard. I've tried a lot to remember. Like somebody I asked, please could you give me some space? I want to reach. I walked And then when I came down, and I couldn't find my seat, and I took a seat on the front row. As I sat down, it was still a blur. And I didn't get over that shock wave. I didn't get over that touch, that divine touch. As I sat, he showed the paper, the drawing, to the audience. He read out the poem. He showed the portrait, the sketch, and he said that I look a lot more handsome and better than I look in real life in this portrait. Everyone laughed. And then he called me again and he said that, Bobby, he tore the page from the pad and then he showed that drawing to the audience. The pad that was there, he called me again and he said that, Bobby, please take this. I only need this page. I don't need excess in life, which again is a belief that I strongly have it in me. I don't need excess in life. So this time, even before getting up, even before reacting, somebody actually handed me the pad. And then he asked his staff and the bodyguards, he gave the paper and he asked them categorically not to fold it, but keep it very safely. He wants to take it back. And that's how the day ended. I returned back. I remember I was in a daze for days after that. I was in a daze for days after that. That particular night, I placed my hand on my earlobe, my left earlobe, and my left cheek, and trying to feel his touch, and trying to understand why he did, why he said, what he did. I always feel, I always believe, even y'all will believe, that he is somebody who is the nearest to God. He is sort of a bridge between us and God. The messenger of God. Even if you don't believe in God, there is this Almighty, there's this strong power, the mysterious power who is behind everything. So I think he, with his divine knowledge and his divine state of who he is at this moment, he is the nearest to that Almighty, to that divine power. And I have been touched by him. I feel really lucky. I feel it's a miraculous incident in my life. I really wanted to make this particular story is there on Facebook, on Instagram, but in a written form. But I always wanted to make a video out of it so that it would be easier for people to understand this very, very special event of my life, a divine meeting with His Holiness Dalai Lama. Thank you for your time. Namaskar. Namaste.